Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So today we're going to be talking about what BuddyPress is and kind of what it isn't, and take a quick tour through the BuddyPress features and things that you are able to take advantage of and provide for your users on your website. Looking at BuddyPress sites that are using it today and how they're using it, how they're implementing the different components and features available with BuddyPress. And I'll talk a little bit at the end about customizing your own BuddyPress theme. I know that recently, if you've been following the development of BuddyPress, the theme changed quite a bit from 1.03 to the version we know today, 1.1.2. So that's where we're headed today. One of the biggest things to know about BuddyPress right now is that it does require WordPress MU currently. We're hoping that to change. I know everybody is excited for BuddyPress to be implemented with regular WordPress.org, but right now with BuddyPress, you add that to an existing installation of WordPress MU, and then you're able to use the BuddyPress features on your own website to build a social community. BuddyPress is not Facebook in a box. I think I've been guilty of saying that in the past, but through my use of BuddyPress over the past year, I've discovered that while it is Facebook-ish, it's not Facebook. BuddyPress allows you to really target the social community on your site to a specific topic and niche, where Facebook, you're having the conversation in front of everybody, including your mother. And where on BuddyPress, you're able to build a social network and social community that is more targeted towards your specific topic area. So the conversations and interactions that happen within your BuddyPress community are happening in front of a community that you've built with a topic area that you're kind of guiding and controlling as the site owner. This is a look at the different components that are available, and this is actually the screenshot from the BuddyPress options and the WordPress MU dashboard. And if you look down the list, you've got activity streams, blog tracking, bbPress forums, friends, groups, private messaging, comment wires, extended profiles, and status updates. And in the BuddyPress component feature, you are able to enable or disable any of these features that you want. So if you only want to use, say, the activity streams and the blog tracking, then you enable those and you disable the rest. So really, BuddyPress plugins give you the ability to use what you want and kind of leave the rest of it to really customize the community that you're building on your own website. Extended profiles. Those are profiles that your members are able to fill out within the community. They've all got member profile pages with information about themselves. And the information that your members share is driven by you, the site administrator. Within the WordPress dashboard, you're able to set up profile fields for your users to fill out. And this is an example of profile fields that I set up today. You've got 3 areas of information here. Basic information, where you're asking them to fill out their name, little blurb about themselves and their date of birth. The About Me section, where they can fill out their hometown and where they're from, their country. And their work information, so job title, job description, company website. All of these fields are editable by you, and you're able to really drive the type of information that your members are sharing. When you do fill out the profile fields, the first profile field that you have, the basic one, shows up as fields on the registration page. So this is an example of the user registration page where they can fill out their account information. If you're familiar already with WordPress MU, and if you're just running a WordPress MU site without BuddyPress, you already know that you've got the username and email address and password. BuddyPress adds on the information from the profile fields that you asked for. Name, the about me, date of birth. So whatever profile fields you've set up in the WordPress dashboard will show up on the registration page. And then ultimately, it'll show up on the member profile page. This is my profile from the testbp.org site. And you can see that I filled out the basic information, the about me, and the work information. So you can really customize those profile fields by targeting what questions you're asking your members to share. And when you're running a BuddyPress community site, think about your topic and what your niche community is, whether it's sports or politics or gardening, food. You can really customize these profile fields to fit your own niche community. So you can ask people, if it's a sports community, you can ask, what's your favorite NFL team, or, who's your favorite pitcher in baseball, or, whatever. You can really target that information for your community. Friends is another component with BuddyPress that is a lot of fun. You're able to add friends within the community, and once you do, then you're able to interact with them through private messaging, writing on their wires. This is an example of a friends listing in a BuddyPress community. So you can see that you can list out your friends, click on any of them to go to their member profiles. You can filter the friends and view the friends list by recently active, newest, and alphabetically. I mentioned private messaging. Once you have made friends with somebody in the BuddyPress community, you're able to then send private messages to them through the BuddyPress interface. So it's kind of like a built-in email engine that allows you to send and receive private messages between you and your friends. This is an example of the private messaging component. Once you are a member of a BuddyPress community, you've got an inbox. You can view your sent messages. You can compose messages just like you would on any type of web-based email program. And it's all private between you and the person that you're messaging to and from. The wire is another component of BuddyPress, and it allows you to leave feedback, leave comments on different areas of content within a BuddyPress-powered community. So you can leave comments on member profile pages, on group activity pages, photos, links, and all of the wire comments are public. So think of it as leaving blog comments. It's all public, and it shows up on the member's profile page on their wire messages. This is an example of wire messages on my BuddyPress profile at the BuddyPress.org website. You just type in the comment, click post, and it gets edited, or not edited, it gets published to their member wire. Groups, which I'll talk about in a minute here, also have public wires that members of the groups are able to leave comments and leave feedback as well. Activity streams are one of the more popular components I'm finding when I'm working with people on BuddyPress, because what the activity stream does is list out what's happening in your community right now. And it gives you an idea of what individuals are doing within the community, what groups are doing within the community, and forum topics. Anything that's happening in your community right now gets published to activity streams. This is an example of my personal activity stream on BuddyPress, and you can see that it keeps track of when I post new status updates, when I add new friends. If I had a blog within the community, it would show when I post new blog posts. If I leave comments on blogs within the community, it'll show those comments. The activity streams are filterable. You can see there's the 5 buttons: blogs, friends, groups, profile, and status. So when you click on any one of those, you can filter the activity stream down by any one of those filters. Blog tracking, if you're used to working with WordPress MU before BuddyPress, the whole point of WordPress MU is to have individual member blogs within your network. What BuddyPress does is tracks those blogs in a much nicer way. Within the activity streams, you're able to see, as I mentioned, new blog posts as they happen, new and recent blog comments, and the creation of blogs within the community. So that's all aggregated into the site-wide activity stream that gets published to your site. And on individual member profiles, the blog tracking keeps track of individual blog activity. So this is iCool's profile on BuddyPress, on the test BuddyPress site. And you can see that this person has two different blogs, iCool and I think that says Sheepdog blog. And you can also click on top to view his recent posts and his most recent comments in there. So it really keeps track of individual blogs and site-wide blogs within the activity streams. Status updates are a new feature with BuddyPress 1.1. And really, if you think what you do on Twitter all day long, you update your Twitter stream with information about what you're doing right now, or you're sharing links or sharing information with other people, the status updates on BuddyPress really are the same type of thing. It's what you're doing right now within the community, but it stays within the community. It gets published to the activity stream on your member profile, and also gets published to the site-wide streams for the community. This is me updating my status on the BuddyPress.org website. I'm excited that BuddyPress is so well represented at WordCamp New York. I click update and it gets published then to my member profile at the top. Also shows up on the activity streams within the community. Groups are a really exciting feature, and I know that Andy's going to be speaking more about groups later today. Groups are micro-communities within your community. So people are able to come to your site, sign up for membership, and once they do, if you have the groups feature enabled, they're able to create groups on different topics that they're interested in. So it's really a gathering of members within your community, formed around a specific topic of interest. People can join groups, they can leave groups. Groups are able to be private and hidden from the community. If they're private, you're able to make your group private within the community so that it's by invitation only, so that people can join the group only if they've been invited. Hidden groups are hidden, that you don't see them in activity streams. The group activity is not published to activity streams. And then you've got public groups, which do then get published to public activity streams. People are able to join and interact with the group. Groups within the community have their own wire, as I mentioned earlier. You can post news. The administrator of the group can post news. And forums are enabled for groups. It's a feature that you can enable within the WordPress MU dashboard in the BuddyPress components, but you are able to have forums, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. So when people come to your community, somebody like this guy could create a group called BP Jedi Masters. It's a group targeted for master-level BuddyPress developers. And other developers, people interested in it, can join and interact and engage with each other, share information. This guy could come along and start a group called BP Consultants, which is a group geared towards people who are providing consulting services for BuddyPress. Other people who are interested in that group can join, interact, and engage with Mark or anybody else who is within the group. This guy, he would probably come along and create a group called something like Total Newbies. A group for people wanting to learn more about BuddyPress, who maybe don't know what BuddyPress is, and they're there to learn and get more information. So once these three guys do that, you've got three groups within your community: BP Jedi Masters, BP Consultants, and Total Newbies. And within those groups, you've got forums and wires where people are able to actively interact with each other, talk, discuss, share information, and all of it is within your community. So it's within kind of the roof of your own community. Group forums are powered by bbPress. bbPress is a platform that is originally a discussion forum platform. It's standalone software that you can install on your website to run discussion forums or bulletin boards, what you call them. bbPress is packaged within the BuddyPress suite of plugins. So if you want to enable forums on the groups in your community, you don't have to worry about installing a separate installation of bbPress. It's all done for you. It's all there. And all you have to do is enable the forum options within the WordPress MU dashboard. And, well, you have to do a little bit of forum configuration within the WordPress dashboard as well. But it's not complicated. It's really just a couple of clicks and very easy to get activated on your website. This is an example of a forum listing, a forum directory listing on a BuddyPress site. And you can see that people are able to come and create new topics for a discussion. And once people do that, then other people can come along and leave feedback and discuss and further the conversation on the topic through the forums. So you've got the whole BuddyPress community. You've got groups within that community that are kind of micro communities. And within those groups, you've got conversations going on through the forums and through the wire with the groups. With the forum directories, topics can be also filtered out. At the top there are 4 links. One is for newest topics, most popular topics, unreplied topics, and my topics. And a little bit later in my talk, when I get into how some sites are using BuddyPress to power their communities, those filters become somewhat important because there are pieces of the BuddyPress community and interaction that's going on your site that you may want to bring forward. Like members are very interested in keeping track of what their topics are, topics that you have been involved with so that you can keep track of the conversation that's going on your website. And this is what a forum looks like on an individual group page. So you've got the overall group, and then within that is the forum. It has links that paginate. Once the forums get to, I think, 5 or 6 topics on a page, it paginates then to the next page worth of forums so that you can easily browse through the forums within the group page. BuddyPress also gives you the ability to display and create directories on your website, which is a really nice feature because the directories give you the ability to search through members, groups, blogs, and forums. This is an example of the directories feature for the members on a BuddyPress site. And usually the automatic URL that is created for this would be like yourdomain.com/members. And then you are able to see a listing of members on your site with a really nice alphabetical navigation that allows you to click on, the letter L if you were looking for me in the community. You can search through members, find members that are in the community, and this is where your users will go, most likely, to find new people within the community that they share interests with. So they can find them, click on their profile, add them as a friend, send them a private message, invite them to groups, comment on their wire, and really just interact with people within the community. And this is an example of the directories features for the forums within the community. The top of the page lists out popular group forums and gives a short, brief description about them. You can also search through forum topics for information using keywords. And you can search through group forums using the tag cloud that you see there on the side. Site-wide activity streaming, I think I talked on a little bit earlier. It is a listing and kind of an aggregate list of what is happening right now in your community. The site-wide activity streams are searchable and filterable through status updates, new friendships, blog posts and comments, group creation and discussion. All of that information is fed in to your BuddyPress activity stream. And this is an example of a site-wide activity stream. I think I took this off the testbp.org site. And you can see that it lists out different things that people are doing within the community at any given time. And again, you're able to filter that out by blogs, friends, groups, profiles, and statuses. So if you just want to see who is updating their status and what they're updating their status with, then you go to the site-wide activity stream, click on the status button, and you're able to view members within the community and what they're having to say within their status updates. Same for blogs. You can view recent posts and comments. BuddyPress gets packaged with widgets that you can use on your website. Most of the BuddyPress, all of the BuddyPress widgets are able to be used within any theme that you're using on your website. So your users can also add the BuddyPress widgets to their individual member blogs as well. An example of some of the widgets that can be used is a display of members and groups and blogs, a welcome widget, a Who Is Online Right Now widget, which shows the avatars of members in your community who are currently online at this given moment. The members widget is able to be toggled by newest, most active, and most popular members. And there's also a recently active members widget that shows a listing of member avatars and information of people who have been most recently active within your community. And this is an example of the members and groups widget. It's for your display on your sidebar, but I'll show in a little bit that you can really pull that information out and display it in any area of your website. But if you click on the newest active and popular links that you see at the top right corner of the two widgets, you can kind of toggle the display so you can see who the new members are, and you can see who the most active members are and who the most popular members are within the community. Which kind of brings me to how sites are using BuddyPress today. I've been using BuddyPress for quite some time. I started using, I think the first site I deployed on BuddyPress was in November of 2008. And that was back when BuddyPress was really just new. new is being nice. It was a brand new suite of plugins, and it has grown so much within the last year. And the popularity of BuddyPress is just amazing. Most often, my clients are coming to me now wanting deployments of WordPress MU and BuddyPress. It's the new and greatest thing. So seeing all of the different sites that are coming out today using the BuddyPress suite of plugins is really exciting because it's fun to watch how sites are currently using BuddyPress with WordPress MU. So I have a couple examples for you. Here, Mike Pratt is a member of the BuddyPress.org community, and he runs a social community for grads and cadets at West Point. So what he's got going on here is a community that focuses on the graduates and cadets within the West Point community. So the only people that are able to join the website are people that belong to that social group. The design of his website, really, this is the front page, and it really focuses on the community itself. So you go to the front page, and the first thing that you see is the site-wide activity stream. And you see a listing of groups and blog posts and members and events within the community. So you really get an idea when you hit the front page of buglenotes.com that it's a community site and their focus is the social community and their members. BugleNotes is using the default BuddyPress child theme with the parent theme framework, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But he's done a lot of customization to the default. WeEarth.com is a site that I helped launch about 4 or 5 months ago. Again, this is a social community of people who are trying to raise social consciousness through art and media and activism. That is their focus. What they did is they wanted to really put the focus on their content as opposed to their community. So with BugleNotes, the previous example, what you saw on the front page was really focused community. But on this, what you're seeing is their content. And the BuddyPress was added on more of a enhancement rather than the focus of the website. So within WeEarth.com, they have the members directory and the groups directory and the member profiles, but it's not the main focus of the website. WeEarth.com is also a blog network. They've got several member blogs, e-commerce, as well as the BuddyPress social community all in one. It is a customized WordPress theme with BuddyPress built into it. So we didn't use the child theme for this because I think this one was actually launched on BuddyPress 1.03, which the theme engine had changed between 1.03 and 1.1. So we really kind of dressed up a WordPress template for the use of BuddyPress on this one. This is a most recent site that I've done using BuddyPress. We launched this about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, right before I started getting ready for WordCamp New York. And nourishnetwork.com is a foodie community. It is people who love cooking, they love food, they love to get together and talk about cooking and food. The front page of the site mixes up site content and BuddyPress social community aspects. So they've got the content areas with their posts, but they've also got member comments, and down here on the bottom, under the What's the Buzz area, is their most recent forum topics that have been discussed within their community. The screenshot doesn't show it, but if I were able to scroll down a little, we've brought their member widget to the front page, and it kind of goes and spans across the whole bottom of the page to display the avatars of all of the members within their community. So they really wanted that front door to be a portal of content and mixed with the social community pieces with BuddyPress. This community does not have blogs enabled, so they only want people to be able to create a member account, to have member profiles, and for those members to be able to interact with each other and interact within the groups and the forums. This theme is using a very heavily customized BuddyPress child theme with the parent theme as the framework. And finally, sportsgrants.org. This site I just launched last week, and this is using a Woo theme. If you're familiar with woothemes.com, I think a lot of WordPress community people are. This website chose to use Woo themes as their base, so we built the BuddyPress suite into this Woo theme. And this website, the focus of it is really social media. What they're doing is using social media like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and just about any type of social media you can think of to raise money for different causes like prostate cancer, breast cancer. So they work with people like the Susan B. Komen Foundation, Lance Armstrong Foundation, and really wanted to use BuddyPress to build that community within their website to get that feeling of social interaction throughout. So the 4 different examples that I gave you, you can see that you can use BuddyPress for a lot of different things, and I probably haven't even scratched the tip of the iceberg because there are so many great and new websites coming out with BuddyPress. I really enjoy seeing how people are implementing it across the web. But you can use the built-in BuddyPress themes. You can use existing WordPress themes, build your own theme. It's really very customizable that way. Speaking of customizing, BuddyPress uses a parent-child theme framework. So what you have when you install BuddyPress on your website is one theme, really, called the BP default. And it uses a parent theme for all of its functions, and the BuddyPress default theme itself has all of the styles. So you've got the CSS and images in the default theme, and all of the template functions in the BuddyPress parent theme. Any style changes that you make happen in the BP default, and that is the theme that gets actually activated on your website. So when you install BuddyPress on your website, you get a message that says you have to move the themes into the themes directory. So they get moved from BuddyPress/BP themes to WP content/themes. And I don't think that is a permanent thing. I think that's going to go away with 2.9, WordPress MU 2.9. But for right now, if you were to leave this talk right now and go install BuddyPress on your website, you would have to move the themes into the WP Content Themes folder. Once you do that, you've got the BP default and the BP-SN parent files. And it's the BP default where you're going to be wanting to make the style changes. This is, if you can read that, that is the style sheet that exists within the BP default theme. And in order to make custom changes to the CSS of the BP default, the very last line on the bottom here, right down here, it's got the CSS comments around it. Remove those comments, create a style sheet called custom.css, upload it to the BP default theme, and that is where you will make any CSS tweaks or changes to the BuddyPress default theme. The line that is on the very top in the comments area where it says template : BPSN parent, that tells BuddyPress that this is the child theme and it's using the BPSN parent as the framework. So all of the template functions exist in the BP, and this depends on the BPSN parent theme in order to work. This kind of goes through what I just went through. The template BPSN parent statement in the CSS tells BuddyPress that it's a child theme and it wishes to inherit the template files from the BuddyPress parent. And the import URL, custom CSS, that is where you will style the custom CSS for your BuddyPress theme. The whole point of parent-child theme framework is that you don't have to edit, and you shouldn't edit, the parent theme at all. The files that are in the parent theme are there to pull from. If you want to make edits to them, you can, and I'll touch base on that in just a minute. But don't actually alter the theme files that are in the parent folder. And what that does is that protects your site then for future upgrades. So I don't know, you're running WordPress sites and WordPress puts out an upgrade and it breaks your theme, and nothing is more frustrating than that. But with the BuddyPress parent template files, future upgrades of BuddyPress shouldn't break your theme as long as you're not altering the parent template files. So the parent theme contains all of the template functions. So all of the templates that you would find in a normal WordPress theme, your header.php, index.php, comments.php, all of those templates that you find exist in the parent theme. You don't alter them within the parent theme folder, but if you want to change the actual file itself, then what you would do is take the, for instance, if you wanted to change the footer.php template, you would take a copy of the footer.php from the parent file, add it to the BP default theme, and then you can edit it, because what BuddyPress will do is it will grab it from the BP default folder first. If it doesn't exist there, then it will grab it from the parent file. Again, this keeps the parent theme framework completely intact and keeps your theme upgrade proof. This is a screenshot from my FTP. So if I wanted to edit the footer, you can see over here I'm in the BPSN parent theme. If I wanted to edit the footer file, I would then add that footer over here to the BP default theme. Once it's in the BP default folder, I can make as many edits as I want to it, and without disrupting the parent framework at all. And that is all I have today for creating community with BuddyPress. And what I would like to do right now, if we have any time, is take any questions that anybody might have about BuddyPress or using it to build a community on your website. Any questions? That is the biggest question of the day. The question is, how soon do you think that BuddyPress will be available for regular WordPress users? And I know that most people using WordPress.org are excited to find that information out. I don't know. They talk about WordPress 3.0 being the big one where the multiple user is going to be integrated into .org, but I'm speaking speculation here, and I don't really know. I know it's coming down the pike, and I know that that's the goal, so that everybody can enjoy BuddyPress, not just WordPress MU users. So look forward to it, definitely. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of WordCamp New York this weekend.